Thank you so much. Appreciate it. One eight. All right, if everybody could come in and please be seated. Okay.
We need to start promptly at 8:15.
All right.
See if I get my phone.
You want me to wait? Say 50.
8:15. It's currently. I mean, if we could get everybody seated and quiet in 15 minutes, that would be great. Or maybe like 5 to 10. Let's start maybe 10 after.
10 after? Okay, that's fine.
Start 5 minutes earlier than we said.
Where's Lowry? He said he was gonna bring down
He's still out there.
he said he was gonna bring down McClung's gift. I don't know if he was here. Maybe it was.
I would ask for 2 glasses of ice tea, but no. Whatever you want. Chev.
Did you post that you said?
Yeah.
You took with John.
I stole it from your post.
About 5 minutes.
When we get to the awards, Wally and Signature, he's getting the alumni.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Take off flags.
Wow, where are the flags?
The Canadians here. Canadians right here.
But Wally wants to say a few words.
Okay. Yeah.
So we might.
I've got that.
We'll be down there. We might pass him the mic.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, we can take it down. Wait a minute. Yeah. Well, Canada's right there, but. Good evening. Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask everybody to please take their seats? We're going to get started. The program is pretty long. What's that? Can I get a 1-8? Yeah, 1-8. There we go. We don't need like the usually we had to do like the chimes things to get everybody started, but that's our call right there. Well, it is my pleasure once again to welcome everybody to Richmond at the culmination of the 171st Annual Convention and Grand Banquet. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Jeff Horton from the charge of Virginia Tech, and I'm really excited about tonight because most of you know that this is a get-together for us to enjoy a final meal, to celebrate people's successes. But what's great about this is that it's a big reunion, and to have the brothers of Road Triton here to kind of celebrate and welcome them back is pretty special to my heart. So, you know, I flew in from DC. My arms are kind of tired. Yeah, right. Actually, what that joke's making me realize, I didn't really fly in. My car is actually in the parking lot across the street, and it's time to pay the meter. So we had to make this pretty quick. Because of my love for Road Triton, I kind of thought about it. I've been excited about this actually since last year because I realized that being one of the Virginia charges, we have some connection, and I thought this year what might be kind of fun to do is to do a Theta Delta Chi version of thank you notes and kind of explaining my relationship or New Triton's charge relationship to VCU, if you are willing. Okay? Brother Sarchin here has been promising me dancers and bands for many years at this point, but we can't necessarily afford that, so I think what I was going to have us do is if I kind of get our vocal cords started a little bit, it's going to be kind of interactive here. As I lift the pin here, if I can get like maybe like a hum, like a hmm, and as I bring it down to the, what's that? Yeah, as I bring it down to the piece of paper, I'll write the thank you note. All right, everybody good? All right. All right. Thank you, brothers of Theta Delta Chi, for allowing Patrick and me to be your host for the 171st Annual Convention. As you've learned over these years, it's not easy to stand up here in front of all of you and be the center of attention. For those of you that haven't been here, we've been using a script for quite a while. Those of you who are new, and that's been a recited line several banquets over. Thank you, brothers of Road Triton, for helping us plan some of the greatest road trips ever. Who knew that chasing a shoe buffer up and down the East Coast could be so much fun? The chair? Thank you, brothers of New Charge, for touring us around the coolest house in the fleet of TDX houses that I've seen to date. Thank you, New Charge, for showing us that the best road trips are the ones that we drive right past Charlottesville and head straight to Richmond. New Charge, where are you? They're not here? All right. And lastly, thank you, Road Triton, for kidnapping several of us for our first road trip outside of the country to visit the brothers of Lambda Deuteron. There's no better bonding experience than 5 brothers traveling in a Chevy Geo for 10 hours to get there. I'll add a few more a little bit later. But obviously, this is about a bonding experience, and it's a celebration for all of us. So I'm going to pass the mic over here to Brother Tiernan to assist with introducing our Grand Lodge.
Thanks, Jeff. Boy, that's an easy act to follow. Evening, everybody. It's good to see most of you again. I'm a brother of Kai Triton. I currently serve as Director of Development for our fraternity. It really is. It's great being back in Richmond. It is my Confederate home away from home, being a Yankee. In all honesty, 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago now, as a colonist, mini road Tritons were the first ones that traveled up in a snowstorm for my initiation. They were many of my first friends in this fraternity, so it really is very personal for me to be back here. Even the current charge, amazing, highest GPA on VCU's campus, You know, when you think about it, a 3.8 GPA is amazing. If you add up all the GPAs of Road Tritons for the past 30 years, it adds up to 3.8. So it's just a fun fact for people who aren't familiar with the charge. But I would like to introduce the 141st Grand Lodge for their contributions. I just ask the members to stand up and be recognized. The President of the Grand Lodge, Jason Dietz. Graduate Treasurer, Quincy Gottwig. Graduate Secretary, Stephen Johnson. Executive Member, Ian Carls. Executive Member, Adam Marks. And undergraduate members at large, Alec Dodds and Julian Weller. Alec Dodds is stepping down from the board, and we thank you for your service, Alec. We would like to introduce the new undergraduate member at large, Dom Sutemeister. Dom is from that house in Charlottesville. Thank you. I would like to now lead our invocation for this evening. If you'd all please bow your heads in silence. Whether faith or reason or nature guides you, I'm grateful for you being here tonight. So tonight, let us give thanks for our family and friends, for those who help prepare the food we are about to eat, for those who farm the food we will enjoy, for those whose company we will share and laugh with, for those whose company we may no longer relish in. Tonight, may we renew the bonds of brotherhood and friendship, and always remember that the wisdom of Minerva shines forth even in our darkest moments. Amen.
All right, for everybody that there is, everybody should have a program at their table at the moment. I'd like to lead you in the singing of O Canada. You wanna come up? Come on up. Come on. All right. Oh, Canada. Have everybody rise. Our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing heart we see the light, the true north strong and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Yes. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for And now for the Star Spangled Banner. Everybody. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now, if I can have everybody raise their glasses. Here's to the Majesty, the Queen. And now here's to the President of the United States. Hear, hear. Okay.
Thank you, everyone. If you could have a seat. I suppose this is a... If I could have everyone's attention. I suppose this is a good time to mention that we're actually, another Theta Del first, we're actually live streaming tonight's grand banquet to brothers who are unable to be with us. It's another service provided by your friendly Central Fraternity office. And to that end, if you could pull up the thermometer. This year, we're trying to do something a little bit different. There is some marketing research, some data to show that when endorphins are rising, that checkbooks open. And we're hoping that you would join us in supporting the Educational Foundation by making a gift or a pledge. I don't know what you're laughing at. You can text TDX171, so 41444, and you'll be sent to a donation page. And our goal tonight is an ambitious $25,000 to go to our leadership and educational programs. And you'll see so far, before the night's already begun, we have already raised several thousand towards that end. We're going to be showing this thermometer throughout the night, and we hope that you will be able to contribute whatever amount you find reasonable. And I encourage undergrads as well to make a gift, whatever you find reasonable to do, to become a VG dues donor, a voluntary graduate dues donor, even though you are not a graduate. Even if you've given before, even if you've given this weekend, your tax-deductible gift makes a difference. You've seen it in your charges. What's that number? If you can, I can't see the screen. If you quiet down, I can tell you. Oh. There goes my donation. Don't worry, if it's coming from you, Brett, you can keep it. That number is TDX171. That's the convention you're at. That's the fraternity you're a part of. And that's going to 41444. That's a nice awkward pause. Okay, good. Thank you again for your generous support to the old lady.
All right, thank you, Patrick. I would like to make a few introductions as well, and want to start by thanking Executive Director Brian Burgess, Director of Development Patrick Tiernan, Director of Charge Operations John Lowry, and System Administrator Kevin Davila, Charge Consultant Gordon Bentley, for organizing this event. If everybody could take a stand real quick so we can recognize those individuals, that would be cool. I'd like to now turn the podium over to our 66th president of the Grand Lodge, Brother Dietz.
Thanks, Jeff. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. I think we've had a really good couple of days. We've talked about a lot of great things. We've done a lot of great things, and more importantly, had a lot of good time to spend with our brothers from other charges, because we are a brotherhood that goes across those charge boundaries. I hope everybody's had a wonderful time here. I think our brothers from the fine Southern Charge of Roe Triton fine Southern Charge have really treated us well. I think we've had a lot of fun. I think we'll have a lot more fun this evening, and I appreciate everybody coming in this evening, spending some more time together as we close this out and have a great time doing it. Over the years that I've done this, they've learned to very much limit my time up here. I think most people get sick of me by the end of the weekend, and I am sure you appreciate that as well. But I do have the honor this evening of recognizing some of the individuals that have really made all of this possible. Over the years, the position of President of the Grand Lodge has really been an important factor for the fraternity. There have been so many great things done over the years that we would really be remiss if we didn't take the time to recognize the Grand Lodge presidents that have come before. And so that's the honor that I have this evening. So if you would, please stand and be recognized as I read your name. Don Laxton of Kappa Triton. Thank you, Don. Don Nouveau of Beta. Eric Kelly of Sigma Triton. Richard Wood of Gamma Triton. And of course, our current executive director, Brian Burgess of Sigma Triton.
Stand up. Stand up.
So thank you all. I hope everybody has a great time this evening. I know that our MCs will keep work at keeping us entertained and engaged as we go through the dinner. And I'll turn it back to you guys.
Thanks, Jason. I'd like to point out that this really is historic. This is actually the first time Eric Kelly's shown up on time for anything. Let's just hope that Penn State's football team can show up and do the same thing with Ohio State this year, huh? That was some original Tiernan material there. You're welcome. I'd like to turn over the program now to our first featured speaker, Steve Hedberg, who will be giving a brief speech on passion. I think Steve needs no further introduction as a brother of our home charge road Triton. Please welcome to the stage Steve Hedberg.
Good evening, everyone. I want to keep this telethon going, so remember, support the Brotherhood. www.stevehedberg.com/support your brother. Bitcoin is preferred. PayPal's fine too. All right. Never paddle alone. That's what my whitewater instructor told us in a weekend class I took in preparation for my 320-mile trip down the James River, alone. I did so as an artist, what I call immersion art. I make a journey of some kind, alone of course, and create a series of paintings and drawings that reflect my experiences. I took 3 weeks off, packed up a kayak with about 120 pounds of gear, and set foot. As my wife and 2 daughters stood on the bank of the river waving goodbye, I floated away. After just minutes of paddling, into the drizzle and mist, and with way too much weight on my boat, I thought, I want to go home. That moment was the hardest point of the trip. I never felt more alone and helpless. I instantly had complete regrets about what I had signed myself up to do. But as I paddled on, I became stronger and found my stride. As I paddled down the river through Class 1, Class 2, and occasionally Class 3 rapids, I came across other river enthusiasts. I caught up with a family, 2 canoes, a parent, and a child in each canoe. We exchanged pleasantries, and then I kept about 100 yards courtesy distance because, you know, stranger danger here. I didn't want to scare them off. But, yeah, blood and guts. But as we went down the river, it was clear that we were all kind of keeping an eye out for each other. We'd watch each other's line and wait and make sure we got through the rapids without a flip. The more I went down the river, the more folks I met. There was Jimmy, who allowed me to camp on his property on the side of the river. I took a long hot shower in his outdoor shower, which after 3 days of river water, sweat, and mud, was a transcendental experience. And I'm pretty sure I was doing them a favor as well. Afterward, I was sitting out watching the sunset, and he walks out with 2 Miller Lights and his little girl following behind with a kite. We had a couple of beers, talked about the river, and watched his daughter for the first time attempt to fly a kite. The day I left Buchanan was rainy and cool. It was clear it was a stretch that I was going to be alone. It was a few days after Labor Day, midweek. No one was out there. I flipped my kayak on a stretch of rapids and found myself moving swiftly, submerged and upside down. I recovered, collected my gear, wet and cold and shaken by the episode, and I decided to pull myself off the river. So I called the owner of the next campground, Charlie. Charlie came up and picked me up, shuttled me back to the campground, and I paid him to do this, of course. But what I didn't pay him to do was go back to his house, load up 2 nights worth of dry season firewood, and drive it back to my campsite and unload it. We became friends over the next 2 days. I had a lot of these conversations with those I met, and on several occasions I was offered assistance, encouragement, bottle of water, cookie, a couple times of beer. And we all shared a bond. It was the river. Didn't matter who you were, where you came from, where you fell on the political spectrum, which is clearly a divisive thing this day and age. It took me this repetition of good deeds to realize I was in good company, that I was not paddling alone. There was an invisible safety net that we all shared. This isn't foreign concept to this room. For instance, my wife and I are planning a trip to Guatemala, where my 2 daughters were adopted. I have brother Kurt French, he's not here, is he? Who owns a health food store. He owns a health food store down there, and he's going to help me plan a safe and fruitful trip. He also nearly got me killed once, but that's another story. I'd love to tell it, actually, if you want to. It involves the sale of sunglasses. You guys know what I'm talking about? All right. You can hear that later. And then there was, Brother Taylor Early, who wrote Triton Brothers. I don't know if this has actually happened. Has this actually happened? I called Brother Taylor Early to say, my car is broken down on 64. Has that ever happened, actually, other than this time? I don't know. Yeah, that's a cliche in our house. And Taylor didn't, well, he laughed first, thought I was joking. But then he said, you know, do you need a lift? He didn't ask me how far, what the situation was. He was there for me. Tow truck driver met him halfway, and then we went and had a couple beers. Not the tow truck driver. Fortunately, I'm sorry, I skipped. The type is a little small. Then there's Brother Steve Queller, who, when my dad passed away this spring, was there for me. He flew down from Florida, or to Florida from Virginia. He joined my family as we remembered my father, and on that day of the memorial, Steve and I played a round of golf on my old man's favorite course to honor him. That meant a lot to me. My realization that my brothers and my river people have something in common, a bond that crosses all barriers. When I reflect on my adult life, I realize how present it is. I'm sure you all can think of moments in your life where someone stepped up for you. It's like insurance, right, Steve Jones? You are covered. I consider it to be the greatest benefit of brotherhood, even when you don't see it. Brothers were never paddling alone. That's it. Thank you.
Steve, sorry if you don't mind. Thank you so much for your words. You don't mind staying up here to hand out our next set of awards based on your talk. Let's give Steve a round of applause for that great talk. Thank you. Chase. If I could ask Jason Dietz to come up as well. The theme of this group of awards is service to others. We're all college educated. We can do this. The Glenn Marston Cup. The Glenn Marston Travel Cup. This award recognizes the charge with the greatest number of miles collectively traveled by the undergraduate non-delegates to arrive at convention. Congratulations to the men of Road Triton Charge for outstanding strength. Can I have John Lowry come up to the podium too? Can I have John Lowry come up to the front too? All right. That's all right. You can. Yeah. We only have the room for a couple more hours, guys. Come on. I was actually joking, but. What? the Graduate Attendance Trophy. Similar to the Undergraduate Travel Cup, the Graduate Attendance Trophy goes to the charge with the largest number of alumni present at convention. Congratulations to the charge of the fine Southern Charge of Roe Triton. Thank you, Wally. Where's Tex? That's up to Tex to fill it. Thank you. Hey guys, as you return back to your tables, just be mindful of your servers. Thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, bless their dear hearts, right? Bless their little hearts. The next award is the Autism Speaks Triple Threat Award. Autism Speaks has been our international philanthropy partner since 2011. In that time, many charges have hosted events, fundraisers, and spread awareness for autism and participated in the Light It Up Blue annual events during the month of April. At this time, I'd like to extend special recognition to all of our charges that operate our proprietary Bros United program, which benefits young men on the autism spectrum. The Triple Threat Award is chosen by Autism Speaks and recognizes the charge that has excelled most in the 3 areas of this past year in fundraising, awareness, and the Light It Up Blue event. This charge had a breakthrough year in holding numerous fundraisers and philanthropy events to raise money, awareness, and support for Autism Speaks. This effort culminated during Autism Awareness Month when the charge held events throughout the month and held a standout Light It Up Blue event at their charge house. As a result, Autism Speaks has selected Mu Triton, our brothers from the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, to win this year's Triple Threat Award. Nice job, guys. Our next and final award in this category is Service and Philanthropy. The Service and Philanthropy Cup recognizes the charge that has put forth a strong commitment to helping the community in which they live. This charge is one of the most active among their Greek community. Sorry, I wrote Triton. I think you're out of this one. This is my bad ear, Stankovich. All brothers go above and beyond the 10-hour minimum community service each semester, and the charge hosts various fundraisers and philanthropy events throughout the year. The charge is one of the first charges to create a local Bros United program which is still growing strong. And they have a weekly program in which they play basketball with the children on the autism spectrum. Last but not least, this charge was recently crowned Greek Week champions for winning various competitive and charity events, and is planning on holding a new 5K event this upcoming fall semester. I think you know who it is, for the Philanthropy and Service Cup. Give it up for Gamma Deuteron, our brothers from University of Michigan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we can get one more round of applause for all of our winners thus far. Congratulations, gentlemen. We're now going to pause for a moment, allow everybody to enjoy their dinner. Just a reminder that for those of you that want to continue to give for the campaign that's going on right now, it is TDX 171 for the number of convention, and then that's going to 41444.
I would just like to point out that if you would like to mock me as the fundraiser through this portal, you might recognize that some people can't spell correctly, and so it might be a reflection of your own host institution. So have fun, but it might be more a reflection of you than me. So enjoy. Can we shut down table 8? Is it on? Hello? Test, test, test. I take it we're all enjoying our dinner. And there must be something funny on the thermometer, I don't know. But my picture? So you can continue to laugh all you want as long as the thermometer keeps moving up. How's everyone doing? Good? Right. Right. Where are we at? Where are we at with time? Where are we at with time? Where are we at with time? I just need someone checking. Yeah. Right. Jeff. No, you're calling up Brian.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue with the program. Hope everybody's enjoying their 1-8. Hope everybody's enjoying their dinner thus far. We're going to continue to move on with the program because we've got quite a bit to cover. And so at this moment, I'm going to introduce somebody that's near and dear to my heart, but I know also near and dear to yours. So, Brother Burgess, the podium's all yours.
Before I begin, I do want to make an announcement. In the absence of Brother Curley, we do have our golf tournament winners. They shot amazing out there, won it as a team. The team consisted of Tony Rhodes, Bill Massey, Rick Olson, and yours truly. It was the best foursome out there. In the first day, it was also the only foursome out there. Woo! We win it all. So now, I'm going to move into my speech, and my beautiful wife, Marivi, I can't see you through the pillar. You could probably see me through the camera. Okay? Hi, Caleb. Hi, Jacob. Why should we give? My amazing wife, Madhavi, asked me that question, and my physical reaction was simple. Look at the... My words were a little bit more complicated. I started talking about the resources that we were creating, the vision that we have, and how we are supporting our brothers. But I realized I shouldn't be focusing on the what's or the how's. I should be focusing on the why. So I decided to take my speech about values to answer the question that blew my mind and had me thinking for weeks. Oh, snap. 4, I think. It all started out when I was about 110 pounds, soaking wet with my clothes on. I was 17 years, vertically challenged, went over to Penn State, and I was going through the transitional challenges that every student is going through. And in order to face that, I knew there was one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to join a fraternity. And I rushed a lot of them. It was a lot of fun. Until I came down to what I thought was the flu. Rush chairs would call me up and say, hey man, Brian, yo bro, you want to come out, have some cookout, eat some food? Hey Brian, we have happies, you want to join us? Hey Brian, we're going out golfing, you want to join? No, I'm not feeling well. I could barely get out of bed, I can't walk, I feel awful, maybe when I feel better. That was the response I gave every single time until Theta Delta Chi called. Michael Crust, affectionately known as Krusty, called me up and said, hey man, we got happies. You want to come over? I gave the same response. I could barely walk, can't get out of bed. Maybe next time. His response was different. Do you need to go to the hospital? Do you need us to take you there? Yes. Thank you. That's a good. Michael Crust, within minutes, showed up with 2 other brothers in a car, Phil Whited, Bob Fakes, and they checked me into the hospital. And they came over to me and they said, hey, we want to call your parents to let them know that you're in the hospital and you're okay. Now keep in mind, this is 1996. Cell phones at best are scarce. Picture them dialing on a rotary phone. And just to let you know how challenging it was, my number was 717-889-5805. 5 minutes later, they get a hold of my family. Do. Mr. Burgess, Mrs. Burgess, your son's in the hospital. He's okay. He has walking pneumonia. I knew where I belonged at that moment. I didn't live my values, and I ended up having to leave Penn State. Served 4 years in the United States military. Came back. Who? Same to you, medic. And nobody that I knew when I left was there. And as I was driving up in my canary yellow 1989 Dodge Neon, listening to Jurassic 5, I had 2 questions in my head. Will I fit in? And am I good enough? The first question was answered pretty quickly. Zach Penrod was inside the kitchen doing dishes, and he said, I walked up awkwardly and said, hey, I'm Brian Burgess. He goes, oh, you're the Army dude? He goes, I said, yep. He goes, cool, welcome back. We cleaned the kitchen together, cleaned the house. Boom, done. Question answered. The second didn't come till later. I fell back into the same routines. I wasn't living the values once again. And I had, at one point, a mental breakdown. And for all those who are in the room, to put it lightly, it was a meltdown. I went from the most talked to brother in the house to the least. There were 3 brothers. Steve Doherty, Zach Penrod again, and Eric Kelly. Steve Doherty and I sat down and we had a conversation that I will keep in secrecy forever.
But at the end of it, he said, "Hey, Brian, I think you should get some help." I said, "Okay." He walked me to the counseling center, and I got help. I don't know where I'd be without that conversation. Whew. Zach Penrod served a different purpose. He was a mediator. He helped me reestablish my relationship with the Brotherhood, creating new boundaries on how they can interact with me because they just didn't know how to treat me. They still wanted me. He taught me that I still belonged. Eric Kelly, his role was a little bit more interesting. With my newfound life of values, Eric helped me to understand how to be a leader and not little Napoleon. Many of the times, how to lead rather than to command. Yeah. EK is not good for much more than that. Oh, wait, I forgot. I'll get back to that in a moment. I would say that, come to think of it, those three brothers saved my life in one way or another. And, we went from the worst charge on campus in GPA, owing a lot of money to the international fraternity. When I was graduating, we won Chapter of the Year at Penn State and Victory Cup in Theta Delta Chi. The growth. And the awards aren't what really is amazing about my experience. Eric Kelly was also taking golf with a girl named Marivi. He said, "Hey man, I met this girl, she has similar values to you, and I think you would hit it off." So he set up a meet and greet. We were going to the batting cages. It ended up pouring rain. We didn't know that the batting cages were outdoors. So that was a failure. We went back to the house and we were listening to music, and Notorious B.I.G., Baby Baby, Juicy came on. And the only two people in the room that knew the song were Madhavi and I knew that was the sign. She's the one. It was all a dream. So Eric served another purpose. He kept me from incessantly texting and calling her. And should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? No, wait 24 hours. Stop. You're going to creep her out. Thank you, Eric, for slowing me down. Fast forward over a decade later, we have two beautiful boys who are going to be Theta Delts. I'm hoping through my actions and my words that I can instill the values into them that have changed my life. So, Madhavi, my love, to answer your question why I give, it's not because of the scholarship that they gave me when I couldn't pay for college. It's not because of the grant that they gave me to take my underprivileged kids from Prince George's County to Penn State so they can see the opportunity of college. It's because I love my family, my fraternity, like I love you, Caleb, and Jacob. Thank you.
Hang on, Scrappy, get back here. Honestly, thanks, Brian. Asked that along with if Jason could also help out Brian and giving out these awards. The theme of this group, next group of awards is living our values. This group of awards is the Charles Schmidt Loyalty Cup Awards. Charles Schmidt was from Paiute, which was Sisuni, New York, and he started what is now known as voluntary graduate dues. His idea was that every brother gave $2 annually, which in 1930, $2, roughly $34 a year. And his idea was that it would help fund programs. What's kind of funny, and I swear, I think Bill placed this painting intentionally. Charles Schmidt's painting looks right where the mail comes in the CFO. And if you listen quietly, every afternoon when the mail comes, I swear I hear Schmidt saying, "Pat, where's the money?" Because I always look for return envelopes. I guess that's funny if your job depends on money coming in. But the Schmidt Loyalty Cup goes to the charge with the highest number of donors to voluntary graduate dues, which supports programming for our fraternity. The charge with the largest number of donors, I always joke that I'm going to write a handout on what's in the water at Ann Arbor. This charge has continuously, the alumni not only give to their university, they are supportive of their housing corporation, they are supportive of their charge, and they're supportive of their international fraternity. And so congratulations again to the alumni of Gamma Deuteron charge for their outstanding support. And if you remember from last year, which was the very small cup, I decided to pay the extra $5 and get a much bigger cup. The second loyalty cup, and this is, I think, especially important for smaller charges, younger charges. In general, I would encourage you, even though some of you are enjoying, I guess, giving $1 gifts, it's okay. As long as the thermometer moves, Patrick is happy. But the largest percentage of alumni who give, so obviously the larger your house, invariably the harder it is to earn this award, but this is for the largest percentage of donors who give to VG dues. And this year's Cup, Loyalty Schmidt Cup Award goes to the governors of Roe Triton. Let's try to make this one a little faster, boys. The Guy C. Pierce Improvement Cup goes to the charge that shows the greatest overall improvement in the past year. This charge has made a night and day turnaround compared to a few years ago and is now one of our strongest charges. They've been able to facilitate consistent and strong recruitment efforts, hold various fundraisers, including their annual haunted house, raised thousands of dollars for charity, and started their Charge's inaugural Bros United program this past year. This Charge is not only deserving of this award because of their hard work, but because they were able to make all of this improvement and positive change in the backdrop of a lawsuit against the entire Greek system at this school. They're also most notably known as a fun backdrop for the movie of The Graduate. The Guy C. Pierce Improvement Cup, give it up for Delta Deuteron, University of Berkeley. Nice job, guys. Original improvement. Yeah, I just told him I need the scholarship winners. I'm wondering if next year we should have a thermometer for sobriety. Too soon? What? What? I'm not there yet. I know. No. So the next award is Ritual Improvement Cup. Always the popular. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. Okay. This award goes to the Charge that has improved their adherence to our ritual and living our values in this past year. This Charge has an increased focus Thank you. Thank you, David. This Charge's increased focus on what it means to be a Theta Adult has inspired the group to put in efforts to grow their brotherhood, initiate new members correctly, and begun making huge improvements to their beautiful Charge house across the border. In addition, this past year on Remembrance Day, the Charge president gave a great speech about the bonds of our brotherhood in honor of fallen brothers of the Charge who was killed during World War I. Paraphrasing the words of Brother George Economou, our Charge is like a family. Because of our Charge is made up of a group of great friends and brothers, this helps us encourage one another to strive academically, mitigate internal problems, and give back to the community. For Ritual Improvement Cup, please give it up for Lambda Deuteron, our brothers from the University of Toronto. Nice job, guys. Last award in this category. Last award in this category is the President's Cup. This award is given out annually to the Charge as most proficient in the knowledge and conduct of our ritual. Always strong when it comes to our ritual, When this charge discusses their day-to-day charge operations and behavior of brothers, they not only focus on what they are doing, but focus on if their actions reflect what Theta Delta Chi stands for. This charge had struggles adjusting to new house this year, but worked to make it their own by creating a new charge room, ensuring weekly meetings and ritual adherence didn't falter just because they were in a new space. This charge continues to live and emphasize the importance of Theta Delta Chi's ritual and values in their charge and their day-to-day lives, and has been a standard setter in doing so. This year, this charge was able to maintain and go above and beyond their own standard for the second year in a row. Please give it up for Upsilon and Deuteron, our brothers from Wabash College. Nice job, guys. Don's not coming. You just go through scholarship winners. Don's not coming up. You just can't go through all. No, I just want to make sure. Okay. Congratulations, guys. And I'd like to turn the mic over to the chair of the scholarship committee, Adam Marks, new Deuteron 99, for the presentation of the Educational Foundation scholarships for 2018.
Thank you, Brother Tieran. Before we get into the scholarships, just to go off script for a moment, I just want to thank the brothers of Roe Triton. My first time back in Richmond after 22 years, after regional conventions, my first charge house I ever got to visit outside of my own. Great time that weekend, and apparently I've had some great times with Roe Tritons, even though some of them don't remember some of those events. But I'm up here to present the Educational Foundation Award Scholarships this year. These awards range from $1,000 to $4,000. Some of the winners, in fact, are even here tonight. I ask that you stand to be recognized when your name is called. So first, the two winners of the general awards for $1,847. Brendan Gutenberg, Gamma 16, and Jack Chauvinek, Sigma Doot 15. Gamma Doot, messed that one up. And then four we call Davenport scholarships, named after the man who actually has presented a sizable donation to the fraternity to sponsor these scholarships. These are each for $4,000, and we're providing four of them tonight. We have Yoab Garcia, Sigma Doot 18. Psi Doot, what'd I say? What'd I say? Sorry, I had a little too much to drink tonight. Scott Hodgelow, Alpha 19. Colin Demerit, Beta 19. And Tim Dabrowski, Psi Tetraton 20. Congratulations. Brother Tiernan, Brother Horton. Guess I'll just stand up here until they get back. Thank you.
Just as a reminder to undergrads, and even if you're pursuing graduate studies, scholarships come from the Latin meaning free money. They don't. But what's amazing is the fact that we constantly look for applicants every year for scholarships. And that's part of the service of the Educational Foundation. So remember that this is a service to you, in many ways a gift that's provided for you. We have very many generous donors that have restricted funds endowed for this very purpose. So please remember that this is meant to continue, help support your studies in graduate school, in your charge. These are annually given out every year, so remember to apply for these every year. It's a great opportunity. Our last speaker of the evening is adored by many in the room. Who wrote this? Okay. He's last year's recipient of Theta Delta of the Year, and his speech falls in the category of service to fraternity and others. Please welcome to the stage, I wrote this actually, Dr. Bruce Tench, Iota Triton 06. What did I miss?
All right, good evening, everyone. All right, so where I come from, family is everything, and we do everything in order to protect our family. I grew up in New Bedford, Massachusetts, with a single mom, and I grew up slow, like American honey. While my mother went to work, my grandmother, who we called Nana and Tweety interchangeably, watched me. She lived in what turned out to be one of the neighborhood projects called Bay Village. She would always encourage me to go outside and play, but don't you dare come back in this house dirty. Anyway, there were 5 boys in the neighborhood, and every time that I would play with them, she would call me back into the house. I am blessed to have someone like Tweety to look out for me, because out of the boys in the neighborhood, 1 dropped out of high school and had so many kids by so many different girls. 1 moved to Florida to get away from the drug scene. 1 was in and out of jail because of drugs. 1 is currently doing a life sentence for murder, and 1 died of AIDS at 13. Then there's me. Therefore, I grew up mostly around adults and always had friends outside of my age group. My world revolved around my grandmother, and the sun rose and set with her. I consistently sought her approval for everything. She is the one who really tried to instill in me the value of family. I knew when I was going to college that I wanted to join a fraternity. And I went to college and my mom was against it. I was a professional pledge. I pledged a fraternity where they threatened to bleach my skin. I rushed other fraternities whose values did not necessarily correlate with mine. And I accidentally found Theta Delta Chi. I pledged my senior year of college and I spent only a year in the house. But that house, which I thought would be the confines of walls, became transformed into something more. Those walls became people, those people became brothers, and those brothers became family. In college, I studied to become an educator. My Nana, like my brothers, knew how important that was for me to teach, and I spent 2 years trying to pass the Massachusetts teacher exam. And upon passing that examination, I went to share that news with my grandmother, and that was the night of April 14th. She was in the Jewish convalescent home, and I told her that I had passed. She was not feeling well, but she gathered all of her strength from all of her arms, and she hugged me and leaned over to me. And her last words to me were, "Now I can die knowing you're a full-fledged teacher." And she passed on the 15th. Her death made me angry at the world. I was crushed. But I remember my little brother Alex and my grand little Kyle, they came to the wake that Friday. And that meant the world to me, and it still does. That night, Relay for Life also happened, the night of her wake. I relayed for the past few years at UMass Dartmouth with my charge brothers, and I decided to go to Relay because my grandmother definitely would have wanted me to go. And I remember walking up the black stairs to the campus center and walking across to the commuter caf to the center quad where Mariah Carey's song Hero came. over the loudspeaker, and I tried very hard to block it out with all of my might. And as I arrived to the corner of the President's Walk where my charge brothers were there, they greeted me, they offered me their condolences, and eventually Kyle, my grand little, came up to me. Now, Kyle is like 6'6", and thin as a rail, and he towered over me, and he offered his condolences, he hugged me, and I just broke. And that moment, I felt really safe. My whole world had just ended, but my brothers in Theta Delta Chi were there to renew that. But the impact of brotherhood didn't stop there. A year after, I was teaching, and my kids were labeled as throwaways, and in some ways, I was just like them. I could understand their struggle. It was my job not just to teach them Shakespeare and Emerson and Poe and Hemingway, but it was my job to be a role model to them and to show them that opportunities do exist. I had arranged college tours, which I called some of our fraternity brothers at Tufts and MIT in order to show my kids around campus. On the way back from MIT, one of my students asked, "Hey, I want to see a historically black college." And I could never, ever tell my kids no. And so I said I would look into it, but the only ones that I knew of were in DC. And the kids quickly got excited about it, and they're like, "Great, we can go." So I sat down with my principal, who asked me what the next school was, and I said, "Glad you mentioned that, Howard." And her response was, "Okay, great, how are you gonna pay for that?" So I still had to figure that out. And at one of the TDX conventions, I sat down with Brian Burgess, who was teaching and told me how he used to take kids from PG County, Maryland to Penn State through a grant through our educational foundation. And he encouraged me to do the same. So I did just that. And the school year started, and we fundraised like crazy, and in a 4-month period, the kids managed to raise over $3 grand for the trip. But that still wasn't quite enough. So we needed the grant from the Ed Found. And my heart was overwhelmed with joy when I found out that we actually received the full amount of $2,500 that I applied for to go on this trip. That was the beginning of an unforgettable trip. DC was something that my kids could only dream about, and they saw on TV. They never actually thought that they would be there. It remains to be an experience that they and myself will never forget. It also made history. It was the first time in New Bedford's alternative school students had gone away for so long and for so far. And I owe that to our beloved fraternity. So, in closing, I urge brothers in this room to continue to be active in TDX on your charge level and on the international level. Your experience does not end when you graduate. It's just the beginning, right? I encourage each of you to learn about the different entities that make up TDX and to learn about their opportunities and resources you possess at your fingertips. Keep coming to conventions. Keep encouraging brothers to attend and support programs like the Preamble Institute. Continue to build relationships, not only with your charge brothers, but with your brothers from all over the world. In this moment, we stand on the precipice of a new day to unknowingly and undoubtedly become a shining beacon of hope in someone else's life. The way my grandmother was for me, I was for my students. And TDX has been my iridescent beacon and continues to make a difference in my life. And for that, I am truly, truly thankful. You are my family. Thank you.
You would not believe that this gentleman here, probably maybe about 3 or 4 hours ago, said to me, he's like, "I really don't enjoy speaking in front of a crowd." And you just mic dropped it. Not only do I appreciate the friendship, I appreciate your passion. I'm so glad you're here with us. All right. All right. We're going to backtrack a little bit. You okay? Okay. Uh-oh. All right. At this time, you can hang here real quick. I'd like to announce the winners of our convention photo contest. I know some people are probably already participated in that. The rules were simple. You snap some pictures, you put them up on Facebook, you throw them up on Instagram, you throw them up on, I don't know if we're doing Twitter, so to speak. But with the hashtag TDX171, so I'm going to just ask the charge consultant, Gorton Bentley, to come up real quick and present the winners of that. We got some fun prizes for you. Don't do that. He's okay.
I promised I'd only had one beer. The CFO has worked to grow our social media presence through more blog posts and engagement through Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Social media can be a very powerful tool when it comes to promoting the good things all of our charges do. So we encourage you to take advantage of that capability and share your positive actions with us at the CFO so we can share them with the world. The prize this year is different from most. Usually we give out a flag of Theta Delta Chi, but we decided to change it up. So we're giving out a pair of cufflinks. Bruce, could you hand those to me, please? In addition, Patrick Tiernan is also donating a tie, a bow tie, and a t-shirt. Usually an individual wins this award, which is the flag, which an entire charge can take advantage of. But this year, the Instagram account that posted it is our brothers at the University of Washington, Zy Deuteron.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do we find the picture, Brother Bentley? Okay, you'll be posting it on our official account. I'm sorry, what's that mean? Official account, tdx.org? Theta Delta Chi. We've got a Facebook group on, and all the pictures have been going up there, so I would probably turn to that. Okay. There you go. Larry Sarchin's got it right there. Okay.
Schwartz, it's on the Facebook.
All right, awesome. All right, I'm going to continue forward with the rest of the awards for the evening. So the next, the Undergraduate of the Year Award is given to the undergraduate. I'm son, Brother Dietz. I think you're helping us out with handing out the awards as well. It's given to the undergraduate who has made a significant impact within his charge and community and represents the values of our beloved fraternity. This year's winner has worked tirelessly since his freshman year to contribute to the success of his charge. He has held 8 different charge positions, in addition to being involved with the campus newspaper and other student organizations. Whether it was serving as president of the charge or helping all new members get higher GPAs, as a new member educator, this brother truly exuded the values of Theta Delta Chi. I'd like to get a round of applause for Levi Garrison from Upsilon Deuteron. One, 8. The Alumnus of the Year Award is given to an alumnus who has made significant impact to his charge through continued commitment. This year's winner has led his charge Alumni Association through unprecedented hardship on his Charge campus through organizing Recharge workshops, facilitating tough conversations about campus culture and fraternity culture, and expanding representation for young alumni and active brothers alike. In alumni association meetings, the brother has helped build his charge to one of praise of the Greek office and campus officials in the aftermath of Tim Piazza's death at Penn State. I'd like another round of applause for Brother Thomas Steffen from Sigma Triton, also referred to as Wally. I understand you want to come to the mic?
That's good. I didn't trip. Thanks for not laughing. I appreciate that. But if you were going to laugh, I like this group. I like that a lot. All right, real quick, I have 3 points and a bad joke, and I'm off of here. The first point is I really have to thank the undergrad executive boards and the 2 presidents, Dan Lee and Tyler here, and also the board that I work with. There's a bunch of great guys. This is really a group award. Now let's talk about Penn State. All right, we are the ground zero for what is taking place against all the fraternities. We have to be diligent, we have to be on our toes, and we need the leadership, and this is where I'm going to end. The leadership out here, guys, is you, both the alumni and the undergrads. The leadership that you guys have today, you need to take back to your fraternities, and you need to expand that. You need to develop the next group of leaders at your charges. Very important. We can't allow the fraternity to fail because of 1 or 2 brothers. We have a preamble, and in that preamble, 5 times we mention friendship. That's very important, 5 times. We also have another word, it's charity, and that charity is more like giving. And what that, what it really means to us is that we have an unconditional mandate to improve ourselves. That's every charge. We can't allow a university president like at Penn State to say that fraternities are worthless. That's absolutely false. We all know that. So finally, just the final thing is, I'm also talking to the alumni. We need you to step up too. You have to talk to the other alums that might come to visit. The sanctions that they have against the undergrads and the rules they have apply to us too as the alumni. And that's, you see somebody out of line, you got to step up and stop it. We're relying on your leadership. All right, the bad joke, and I'm gone. Past, present, and future, walk into a bar, it was tense.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wally. Appreciate that. All right, moving on to the Theta Delta of the Year Award, which is given annually to the Theta Delta alumnus who most distinguishes himself. The Theta Delta Chi. Will all past recipients of this award please stand at this moment? Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. This Theta Delta truly deserves recognition due to his hard work this past decade in rebuilding his charge to its former prestige. After the undergraduates fell into some hard times, the tough decision was made to close the charge and start anew. This brother rose up along with others from his alumni association to lead the effort, but stood out as the new face of this reformed charge. Now, due to his hard work, leadership, and guidance, Rho Triton is back on Theta Delta Chi's newest charge. And we're incredibly happy to have them back. The winner of Theta Delta Chi of the Year, Brother Early from Rho Triton.
I have a 17-point speech to give. I don't like to speak in front of people. It's not the most comfortable thing to do. Speaking is very important. And in a time when we're told what we don't need to do or we shouldn't do, risk management's the most important. Risk management's good, but it's the things that you do say to people, that you tell them to do, that can turn a life around. If it's telling Brian Bertes, let's take you to the hospital or take you to get some help. If it's telling Brucey to come join Theta Delta Chi even though you're a senior. I've had many of my brothers tell me things that stuck with me, more than I could even say tonight, and don't worry. 17 I could easily do. But it all started one day after I pledged, got through, and stopped coming around. I thought when you were done pledging, you didn't have to do anything, so I didn't come around. I didn't step foot in the house. And about 2 months into the summer, I'm walking down the street, and Bob DeBloy, our new president, saw me, his first brother I'd seen since I pledged. And he said, dude, come around. The rest is history. He turned me around. I went down to the house, and Kevin McGeechee was there by himself, and he said, dude, help me paint. So I helped him paint. And they taught me what it was to be dedicated to Theta Delta Chi. And you know, I could go on and on and on. I could point to every one of these guys in the room that had told me something that made me that dedicated. Say the things that mean something to people. Don't be scared of all the things that you're not supposed to do or not supposed to say. Say the things that will change your brothers. So, thanks, guys.
I just wanted to take a quick second here following Taylor. There was so much work and so much dedication by all of the alumni at Roe Triton. But Taylor certainly led that charge, but he wouldn't be where he is without the support of his family. So as appreciative as we are for Taylor and all of his efforts, we're just as appreciative of the support that his family gave him during that whole process. Thank you.
All right, congratulations, Taylor. That's awesome. 1-8. All right, last but not least, and I know that everybody's anticipating this particular award, this is the Victory Cup. It is awarded to the charge with the highest score on the ROV. The top charge is the one that excels in academics, philanthropy, and service adherence to their ritual, recruitment, alumni relations, campus involvement, programming, and new member education. We say that we are an intimate, diverse brotherhood focused on scholarship, leadership, and responsible social life. The winner of the Victory Cup exudes these qualities. This charge excels in all above categories and sets the benchmarks and many others. Our brothers at this charge donated over 850 total philanthropy and service hours in the spring of 2018 semester alone. Through events like Autism Speaks walks, beach cleanups, Dodge Brawl, Diabetes Walks for JDRF, a Relay for Life Cancer Walk, and partners with a local philanthropy organization to help children in need. They are also setting new risk management standards and lobbying the school administration to adopt their risk management policies campus-wide due to the charge's successful system. Overall, this charge not only talks the talk, but walks the walk, and they are leading by example. This charge will most likely be strong for many years to come. For the third time, for the third time and the first since 2008, everyone give a big round of applause to Iota Triton, the brothers from the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. Almost there. Almost there.
I was gonna do one little piece there.
Okay. You go first and I'll finish up.
What?
You go first and I'll finish up.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it. Have anything left in my glass? It's like I don't know if I have anything left in my glass. All right, so before we close out the evening, once again, one big round of applause to all the award winners tonight. Congratulations to Roach Height, and we're so happy to have you back. Thank you so much. Before we close out tonight, this evening, our next convention is in Iowa. And so I'd like to bring up Brother Hollenbeck up from Beta Deuteron 71 to kind of touch base with what we can expect for that particular convention. Is he here? Yeah, no, he's coming up. All right, we'll get you.
Well, this is going to be short. They didn't tell me I was going to speak. But Beta Dute, Ames, Iowa, we have never had the national convention. And we're really looking forward to having all of you there. I've heard enough of the corn jokes this week. The only corn is sweet corn that you're going to get. We've got a lot of activities that we're working on. Nothing is set in stone yet. But we're looking to throw a very good party for everyone, and we hope you all join us in Ames next year. Thank you.
The Theta Delta Chi Convention is the central event of the fraternity year, and in 2019, Ames
All right, brothers, if I can
State University
take,
looks
sorry.
forward to.
Oh, I got you.
Is the central event.
Okay. We do have, Ron was gracious enough to create a production video just introducing Ames for us, so we're just getting that queued up. I just wanted to give a brief thanks for, and they're already starting to cut my mic. Okay, I feel like Congress. I just wanted to thank everyone for, thank CFO, thank whoever allowed me to even stand up here in front of a mic to speak before you. Like I said at the beginning, coming back to Richmond, being with you, being with Roach Triton, this is like a homecoming for me. The badge that I'm wearing on my jacket. And if Laxton's in the room, I'm sure he'll say that it should be on my shirt close to my heart, but I'm wearing it on my jacket because I want people to know that, oh, here we go. The badge that I have on my jacket is 126 years old. 22 years ago, my mother gave it to me. I was the only brother, one of 4 boys that pledged the fraternity. And I thought, oh, that's cute. There's diamonds on it, there's pearls. And on the back, it was engraved, charter member John F. Dahl, Tau Deuteron, 1892. It was my great-grandfather's badge. At the time, we were a local fraternity. And I put it away, and a few years later became a colonist at this group called Theta Delta Chi, and was a charter member at Chi Triton. Later found out that my other great-grandfather, Elmer Clifford, was also a charter member at Tau Deuteron, and a man by the name of Abel Beach was a member of their embassy. Also found out that my grandfather, my mom's father, was also a member of Theta Delta Chi. So I kind of slipped into being a 3rd generation Theta Delt. So for me, fraternity and family, I've never known the difference. So when I come to convention, it is like coming back to home. It is like being with family. And Ron's video is much more professional, but I wanted you to, we've celebrated the past, we've celebrated the present. I wanted you to see what the future looked like by hearing from 4th generation Theta Delts. If you could play that clip.
The Theta Delta Chi Convention is the central event of the fraternity year, and in 2019, Ames, Iowa and Iowa State University look forward to hosting you. Theta Delta Chi has a strong and proud tradition on the Iowa State campus, and we've called this house at 217 Ash Avenue home since 1909. It was first the home of the Colonials, then it became Beta Deuteron when we affiliated with Theta Delta Chi. Our chapter will celebrate its 100-year anniversary in 2019, and hosting the National Convention will help make our centennial celebration even more special. As you plan your trip to Ames, know that getting here is easy. We're within driving distance of several major cities, and we're right off the interstate, just a half hour from the Des Moines International Airport. And we think you'll agree when you arrive, there is plenty to see and do in Ames. From a variety of great restaurants to the beauty and color of Ryman Gardens. You can go classic downtown in Ames, maybe play or relax with all we have to offer, as you're invited to see the sights in Ames. The Gateway Hotel and Conference Center will play host to our convention with first-class accommodations and great Midwestern hospitality. Combine those qualities with Theta Delta Chi's proud tradition on the Iowa State campus, and it's easy to see that the 2019 convention in Ames will be an exciting event.
Welcome to Beta Deuteron. I'm Ron Hallenbeck, Charge Advisor, and we are looking so forward to hosting you in 2019. This is our house mother, Mom Linda.
Thank you, Ron. I am the 4th house mother since 1947, and I'm very proud to be working with these young men.
Hi, my name is Garrison Antoine, and I'm the 99th president of the Beta Deuteron Charge. We are honored to hold the 2019 convention here in Ames.
The stage is set for Theta Delta Chi's 172nd National Convention, and we can't wait to welcome you to Ames. The Theta Delta Chi Convention.
Thank you, Ron. That was great. Could we play the now more crass and profane quick video clip?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gabriel. This is Daniel. We only have one thing to say. Theta Delta
1-8.
4-7. Thank you. Good night. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gabriel. This is
Those are your future brothers. That's why you do what we do. That's why you're laying down the foundations for the old lady to continue for another 171 years. Thank you. I'm sorry, one last unfortunate oversight. There was one award that was intended to give to a recipient who was supposed to be here. This was a new award we started giving out a couple years ago called the Caritas Society Development Award. It was supposed to be very apropos to really someone who embodies Theta Delta Chi service and really Richmond itself, Bill McClung. Bill, unfortunately, was hospitalized recently. Again, he's been facing some health issues. Bill is no stranger to the room and his service. And I think in my mind, I think I joke that Bill doesn't need any more recognition. But I love Bill's continually served the fraternity. Bill continually has just given his life to the old lady. Just timelessly, even through health, working on the archives, and just is just such an inspiration to me and to everyone in the CFO and just the fraternity in general. It's just amazing. So this is given to Bill, and we're going to be sure to deliver this when we get back to Boston. So give it up for Bill.
Brother Trevs, do you mind coming to the podium to help me do Stars Ablaze and the toast to the Omega?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ready?
What do you want to do?
We're going to do Toast to the Omega.
Oh!
Everybody want to take a stand?
Is that recited or sung?
That one's recited, and we'll sing Stars Ablaze.
Okay. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Glasses on high. A toast to the Omega. So a bumper to those who have left us, and a cheer to the next one to go. For we've nothing to fear from the future. There are those in Omega who know. Join me now with Stars Ablaze. Oh, we've never a care about the weather, and we don't give a rap about the rain. So be jolly, boys, be jolly, nor never, for we're Theta Delts together again. So fill up till the cup runneth over. Let us drink to the queen of them all. She is banded us brother to brother, till the sands of time cease to fall. Then stand and raise your glass on high. Here's to Theta Delta Chi, royal fraternity. That golden haze of stars ablaze shines out from sea to sea. So here's my heart and here's my hand. Loyal to her we will be, while the host of Theta Delta Chi march on to eternity. March on to eternity. To the old lady. Next year, I'll take it down a third.
Cool. I lost the flag. Flag down, flag down.
Flag down.
All right, gentlemen. Lastly tonight, obviously we have Patrick here to bring the funny. I tend to be a little bit more serious, and at the end of the presentation, I kind of like to leave you a little something to think about. And even though my humor may have fallen flat on the opening, the reason I picked some of those items because of the love of my brothers of New Triton and the influence of the brothers of Road Triton. For me, those were some of the first time I had ever done those things, and particularly Brother Stankovich, which I'm really excited to see tonight. I remember him and Brother Jinx coming to my apartment prior to a break and saying, "Hey, we're going to Toronto." And I was like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Yeah, you are. Pack your stuff. We're going." And it was the first time that I had ever been out of the country to go visit our gracious host at Lambda Deuteron. And so what's been weird, We went to Toronto, yes, we did. And we had the best time. We bet the best time ever, and that's how this kind of grew. So, I mean, we've been hearing that same story from everybody all evening about how it takes one person to create a ripple effect. So if I may ask, I've got the two last thank you notes for the evening. I don't know, can we do it still? Thank you, Brother Craig Edelton, who was originally a brother of VCU, which somebody tried to deny, but it was kind of weird because then a brother from Epsilon, it was like been a whole psychic experience, clarified. Yes, we know Brother Craig Edelton. He was at VCU. He transferred to Virginia Tech. He was the guy that presented me my bid. So a big thank you to Brother Edelton for exposing me to my family here at Theta Delta Chi. And I know we give the new charge a lot of grief solely because of Virginia Tech. They are our rival. But in a moment of adversity, what we learned from UVA, based on something that happened on our campus, that even through rivalry, even through adversity, even through those moments of being competitive, there are days that we are all Hokies. There are days that we're all Wahoos. There are days that we're all Rams. And there are days that we're all part of the tribe. However, most importantly, every day, we're all Theta Delts. It's been my pleasure to host you. I think we've got one final announcement. I'm asking everybody to get home safe this evening. We look forward to seeing you in Iowa. I hope to hang out with you guys a little bit later on this evening. I've got an early flight out tomorrow. But once again, thank you for allowing us to host. What's that? You know, I am old.
So, before we leave, first I want to thank the amazing wait staff, hotel staff, AV people. They've done a fantastic job. Bartenders. Everything's been quite amazing. I've been more than moved by this experience tonight, and I really want to thank Bruce and Steve for their remarks, Patrick and Jeff for their vulnerability and great emceeing tonight, and my wife, she was extremely moved by the experience. And since I answered her question, she, before she left, said, "I think we should give." And she said, "I will give under one condition, that somebody matches, and the amount that I want, or that she wants matched, is $2,500. So you have made a remarkable impact on her. Will anybody match that amount right now? Who was that? I can't see through the pillar. Bruce Trevs, thank you so much. Do we have another match? Thank you, Brother Trevs. I thank you all for coming tonight. This has been a home run for me. I love you all. Have a great evening. Thank you. And to the old lady. Oh, and Wally wants to get a picture of everybody that's in this room out in the lobby area where we did the reception. If you'd please make your way out there so we can get a picture of everybody here. Thank you so much. Love you, miss you, bye. Road Titans up front.
Which one? Yeah. All brothers from the fine Southern Charge, Road Triton, please come up to the front of the stage.